Hello everyone, Tina here. Welcome to Card Making Fundamentals and welcome to Lesson 2 of the Ahoy There Classroom. I'm so glad you're here with me today. We are going to need a few supplies to create our project today. Not too many, but we will need our glue, our scissors. We're going to need a craft pick. I'm using mine that came in our kit last month. But if you don't have a craft pick, that's just fine. You can always use the tip of your scissors. We just need this to pick up a gem and then also to remove some release paper. So not a big deal if you don't have a craft tool. And then you'll also need an acrylic block or a stamping positioner. You're going to need one that is big enough for the Enjoy Life sentiment in our stamp set this month. That's the biggest one we have. And the one I have here is about the right size. Let's see what size this is. This is a 2.5 inch by almost 3 inch block. So this will work perfect for our sentiment. And that is all that we need for the classroom today. I went ahead and already folded and scored, reinforced my score line on my card base. So this is ready to go. You'll want to do that first off in this class. And then we are going to go ahead and take our lesson kit number 3 out of our package. We are going to set everything aside and take everything out of our package. We are going to make a Enjoy Life card today. Keep your packaging. Remember, we can put our card in there when it's all done. Now let's separate everything. What we're going to do is first take the blue pieces of pattern paper from our kit, and we're going to start by adhering that to our card base. Make sure it opens the right way. Then we're going to take our tape runner and we're going to adhere these 2 strips to the top and bottom of our panel here. It's going to leave a little bit of a border, so you want to evenly space them. It's about 1/8 of an inch. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. And then we'll do the same thing to the very bottom of our panel, of our card base rather. And we'll tack this down. So we have some pattern paper on the top and the bottom. After we have this done, we're going to take our stripe paper. I had to improvise with my stripe paper. All of your papers will be one piece, but I ran out of pattern paper for my lesson. And so I had to piece together some paper, but I don't think you're going to be noticed. I don't think you'll be able to notice. You can see I kind of pieced 2 together, actually 3. But take your stripe paper, flip it over, and then we're going to add some adhesive behind here. And then this is, oops. This is going to go on our card base. Now this is going to go a little bit towards the top. I say about 1/2 of an inch. So you can have 1/2 inch on the bottom and then 1/2 inch on the top. Let's evenly space this. So our stripe paper is adhered. Now after our larger pieces of cardstock are adhered, what we're going to do is take our white cardstock that has the rounded corners. You want the rounded corners to be on the top, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment. So bring in your acrylic block and your ink. Let's open up our stamp set. We're going to be using the largest sentiment in our stamp set. This is Enjoy Life. And I just love the fonts of this. I love scripty fonts with block fonts. I don't know what it is about it, but I just think it looks so pretty. Fancy. Okay. I mounted my sentiment on my block. Now when you stamp this, you want to make sure it's evenly spaced. And to evenly space this, since it's kind of offset, you want to evenly space the E on this side from the top of the curve on this side. So when you basically stamp it, you're going to want to make sure that you're evenly spaced from this side to this side. We're going to go ahead and open up our ink, our blue ink that says black, in my opinion. We're going to go ahead and ink this up. It is pretty large stamp, so you want to make sure it's inked up pretty well. And then, boy, I inked that up really well. You probably don't need that much ink. But I'm going to stamp this towards the top. And if you have a stamping positioner, you can use that too. And it stamps beautifully. You see what I mean? Evenly spaced from the E to this side. And if you make a mistake, I think the cardstock is thick enough to where you could stamp it on the back side too. I'm going to go ahead and grab a baby wipe, and we were going to clean off our block here and our stamp. Last time I got ink all over me, so I'm going to be careful. Oh, I got a little ink. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in my packaging so I don't lose it. Well, it's pretty large. I don't think I'll lose this one, but it's nice to stay tidy. Okay. We'll put this back. And then we're going to set this aside and work on our little wave panel. With the wave panel, we're going to take our target paper, and then I'm going to flip this around. We're going to use our tape runner and adhere this to the very bottom of our target paper, or our wave paper, on the very bottom here. And then once we have this adhered, we are going to take some of our leftover burlap, and again, I like the fringy area, so if you want to pull one side, this might be a little too much fringe. You might want to trim, give this a little haircut here. Let's trim this down, make sure everything goes straight. I like a little bit of the fringy look, but not too much. So we're just going to give it a little haircut, so a little bit of that fringe is showing. And then we're going to take our scissors, and then we're going to trim. For this one, we need about 3/4 of an inch. So if you need to measure it, let's see, maybe a 1 inch. I say 3/4 inch from the fringe. So and you can just eyeball it. Let me show you an example. Let's actually take this away here. Okay. Inside your embellishment bag, grab your fishtail banner, and you want enough room to where you can see the burlap underneath your fishtail banner. So this is a good guide. You can use your banner as a guide, guys. And then about 3/4 of an inch. You see? So your banner will be showing on the top and the bottom. And we can just go straight across with that. And if you need to press down on your white liner sheet or your double-sided sheet, you can go ahead and do that now too. And then we're going to take, with the fringe side on top, if you want to fringe the bottom, you can too. Let's take one of the strands away. So we have a little fringe on the bottom. You might want to take 2 away. Don't worry if that you see the liner sheet. You won't be able to see it once it's on your panel here. Okay? And then I think we can still see the burlap between them both. So that's going to work out great. Let's flip over our burlap, and then we are going to use our craft pick. Again, if you don't have a craft pick, you can use the point of your scissors. We're just going to remove the release paper off of that white liner tape. And then we can adhere this to where your fringe is just below the target paper. And then we'll tack that down, like so. You may want to make sure that it's evenly spaced on top too. But once this is tacked down, I'd say you can wrap it around, but it might be a little too bulky. So we're going to just go ahead and use our scissors and trim off the excess. Okay, and I have hairs everywhere from our burlap. So this is done. Now we're going to go ahead and open up everything. We'll save this piece. We need this for our last card. So set that aside. We're going to take our burlap panel, flip it around. Well, we don't have to flip it around. We're going to add adhesive to the very bottom of our sentiment. And then we're going to tack this to our sentiment. But we want to make sure it's evenly spaced for our panel. So our sentiment is going to go here. You're going to see a little bit showing on the top of our stripes. And then we're going to take, you might add 2 strips here of adhesive. We'll take our burlap panel, and then this is going to go about a 1/4 inch up from the bottom. And you're going to line up the left and right side. Nope, we're going to go a little lower. Do you want to go all the way down to the bottom now? About a 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom. You might need to go a little bit lower because you don't want your wave to hit your sentiment. But just tack it down so we're evenly spaced. You see here. Okay, once we have our Enjoy Life tacked down, we know it's going to fit down there beautifully. We're going to go ahead and take our banner. Inside of our lesson kit, we had a package of brads, silver brads. We're going to take one of those silver brads and adhere it to the end of our banner. We'll just take one, adhere it here, and then we'll just open up those prongs in the back. You might need to turn it so you can't see the prong hanging over. And then we have a little bit of metal on our banner. Now we're going to flip over our banner and put these back here. And then we are going to take our tape that we included in the kit, our double-sided tape, and we're going to double up, going right over that brad that we just adhered. Put 2 will fit. Might overlap a little bit, but that's okay. Once we have our double-sided tape on the back of our banner, we're going to remove the release paper. Carefully. It's very sticky. And then this is going to go all the way to the left or all the way to the right of your burlap in the center. We're going to tack that down. And so it should adhere nice and flat. I'm going to go ahead and flip over my panel. In our kit we have some foam circles. We're going to use some of these to pop it up on our card base. So let's grab a couple here, go over the top. Put one on this side and one in the middle. I think that's going to work out good. Maybe one more here. You're going to need 5 circles for our last project, so make sure you have 5 left over. And then we'll remove the release paper off of the back of our foam circles. And this is going to go, again, so a little bit of that blue paper is showing, and it's going to line up with our other pattern paper here. Good deal. Once we have this adhered, we're going to embellish our cards. So we're going to take everything out of our embellishment bag. We have some stars, some wooden stars, and some hearts. We're going to go into our kit contents, and we're going to take the anchor from our sail away wood accent bag. We're going to use some of our baker's twine. I like to fold it in half and then take the loop, and then we're going to thread it through the top of our anchor like so, and then I want to open up this loop and grab the ends, and then we have it not tied so good. There we go. You can see there. That's what we want to do with our anchor. Okay, we'll set this one aside, and then we're going to go ahead and take our stars. We're going to add our stars right next to our life over here, and if they overhang, that's okay. We're going to put 2, and I want to make sure that they're kind of evenly spaced. I think that looks great. We're going to just glue them down with a dot of glue. We'll start with 1. And then we'll add another one here. A little dot of glue, and add one of our blue stars. Once we have these stars adhered, we're going to take our wooden stars, remove the plastic backing. I put a glue dot behind here. Then we're going to add these right over our blue stars. Now it's going to just barely fit to where you could see a little bit of that blue peeking out. But they are almost the same size, but not quite. We're just going to layer those. You can see there. You can see just a little bit of that blue. Okay, let's take our anchor. We're going to flip our anchor around and use our double-sided tape. And we're going to add it behind the anchor here, carefully. And then I'm going to reinforce that, and then remove the release paper from our anchor. And then we're going to tack this down. And I want to loop it like an S shape, to where a little bit of that twine is behind the anchor, and then I'm going to put it at a diagonal. You see how I looped it into a S? And then I'm going to trim off the excess. When I trim off the excess, I want one longer than the other of the tails of the baker's twine. This just makes it easier. There we go. And that doesn't go there yet. So there is, and that double-sided adhesive will hold that anchor nice in place. Now this is a pretty bulky card, but not too bulky to where, I mean, I've added more bulk, trust me. Now we're going to use our glue, add a dot right in the center of the T part of our anchor. Okay, we're going to take one of our blue hearts. This is going to go right in the center of our anchor. This is our, we're going to add bells and whistles now. Go up a little bit. I say where the point is just hitting the end of the circle up there. That's a good spot for it. And then we have our little hearts. I gave you 2, but we only need 1. I'm going to pick up 1 with my craft tool, and then we're going to add a heart gem in the middle of that blue star. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this back. I actually, not in lesson 3 bag. I actually have a lesson 2 that has some extra in it. I should actually put it all in one bag. And then that will finish off our project for today, lesson number 3. This is a great for anybody card, and I just love the way this turned out. Thank you. Happy Friday again. I hope you have a crafty weekend. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next Friday, same time, same place, for our final lesson with the Ahoy There Classroom. I hope you're enjoying it so far. I'm having a blast, and I'm so glad you're here with me. Have a great day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.